Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. How are you? Welcome into Timeline T. I am your host, DSamD, aka Seduce Jr. Yeah, it's been a minute. Life has indeed been lifing. All good things, all good things. We'll be able to announce some things very shortly. Things will be looking differently here. Schedule will be different. But as of right now, we're moving forward. We're knocking these streams out, knocking these podcast episodes out. So come on. Everyone and their mama was locked in on Big Vic. Big Vic, the next whoever. LeBron, the next phenom, the next soon-to-be greatest player of all time. A lot of hyperbole, a lot of hype, a lot of fanfare, a lot of bluster. Looked kind of mid last night. Just saying, Big Vic looked kind of mid. It's all good though. It's all good though. Popovich ran game on y'all. We'll talk about it. Scoot Henderson, a guy that I was saying about a little bit over a year ago that, yo, don't sleep on Scoot. He should be in contention for the number 1 overall pick as well. He also looked mid last night. Okay. Spotlight too big? Shaky in the light. Not there yet. And the forgotten 2nd overall pick, Brandon Miller. LaMelo's back. PJ Washington. There's a lot of things going on there in Charlotte. Brandon Miller just kind of slides in, glides in, doesn't really shake things up, didn't really kill in preseason, but was mid as well. So the top 3 overall picks and what has been bestowed as one of the deepest drafts, possibly one of the most historic drafts. First 3 picks were all mid. Dare I say the best rookie that has played so far is Derek Lively? Derek Lively was out here horsing Big Vic. Mavs man, I know you dropped some content today, but if you out there, pull up. I'm gonna let you get all your hot takes off because Derek Lively was out here banging against Big Vic and getting the upper hand. We'll talk about it. Don't you just love when the people that are supposed to be on your side try to throw shade? This is what shade looks like. Streets was saying the moment was too big for me. Sure it is. I've only been doing content for over a decade. Yeah, the moment's too big for me. It's too big for me to click go live on my own channel. Come on. We got a lot to go into. Are you aware that the Chicago Bulls have already had a players-only meeting? The Chicago Bulls, after 1 loss, had already seen enough. There's already accountability issues in Chicago after 1 game. And that's why I'm no longer a fan of the Chicago Bulls, because fandom is what? A mental illness. All right, let's go ahead and tap in. Salute to those who are pulling up live. Let me know that you're in the chat. There is a lot to get into. Victor Wembanyama, the consensus, the phenom, the can't miss prospect, the best prospect since LeBron. We heard all the hyperbole, all of the words that were bestowed upon him. And he goes out there last night and he wasn't bad. Wasn't great either. He didn't look phenomenal. If you place a lot of bets on him, we'll go to the screen early. Where we at? We'll go to the screen early. If you put any bets on Big Vic, any of the overs, you took L's, Jack. Over 17.5, didn't hit. Over 6.5 boards, didn't hit. Over 2.5 blocks for a man that's 7'5" with a damn near 8-foot wingspan, didn't hit. And because we like to do comparisons and because this is just the era we in where it's about embracing debate, we're already comparing his debut to LeBron's debut. LeBron 25, 9, 6 with 4 steals in his debut. Victor Wembanyama 15, 2 dimes, 5 boards, 2 steals. And I think he had 2 blocks. I think he had 2 blocks. But see, here's where the narratives start. LeBron may have had a better stat line in his first game, but Wemby was special in the fourth. That, my friend, is someone who only watched the highlights, okay? Because if you watch the actual game between the Dallas Mavericks and the San Antonio Spurs, special would not be the word I would use for Wembanyama in the fourth quarter. Yes, he made a couple of threes because, again, he's 7'5", but he's really a wing player. He's really should be a 2 guard, but this is where we're at now, that he's 7'5", and he was out here jacking up threes. And yes, it looked good. He cashed them, but he didn't look that impressive on the boards to me. He didn't look that aggressive to get his own shot. He definitely was trying to post up. I mean, everyone is smaller than him, but it seemed to be he was looking to more so take advantage of mismatches than bodying up people his own size, the few that there are in this entire world. But Victor Wembanyama, if y'all watched the game, let me know in the chat, what did you see? Because I know I went back and rewatched it this afternoon, and to me, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I expect that. I expect 15, 5, 2, and 2 because that's just what he is. Like, the hype train of what Victor Wembanyama has been prophesized to be. Now, Popovich has tried to switch up the hype and try to downplay it, and all of that is cool, but if he's the guy, you put him out there. This is a very similar stat line. I tried to find the tweet. I couldn't find it. He had a very similar stat line to what Tim Duncan did in his first game, damn near identical. So if we're trying to paint the narrative of, well, this is a good start for Victor Wembanyama, cool. But if he's the franchise, which clearly he is, clearly, why can't he be out there for more than, a handful of time? Like, they seem to be spelling him, putting him out there in spurts. They didn't just leave him out there. 3 to 5 minute spurts. And allegedly, that's going to be the plan for Victor Wembanyama. So how is he going to cook? If he's only going to be out there for 5-minute spurts, how is he going to cook? And you did see some of the exploitation because he did get in some foul trouble. And you did see him get exposed a little bit on the pick and roll because he's 7'5". So, using the word disappointment. If you're telling me the number 1 overall pick went out there and put up 15 and 5, and he gave you a couple of moments in the fourth quarter that showed you he's not afraid to take a shot, how is that a disappointment as Magic Man is out here pulling up? Salute to Magic Man. How was Victor a disappointment? Well, this is how. Because a guy with all-world ability like this, in my opinion, in a game that the Dallas Mavericks don't have a lot of size, the fact that Derek Lively outplayed Victor Wembanyama, or at least was more impactful on the game than Victor Wembanyama, nobody had that. Derek Lively barely played at Duke. Ends up being a lottery pick because of his size and potential, and he looked more impressive than Victor Wembanyama. And if the Spurs plan is to kind of slow play this thing out, where he's gonna play a lot of games, but he's not gonna play a lot of minutes, that to me is like kind of a waste. Now again, this is not a referendum on the totality of his career. This is watching him play one game, watching him play against NBA caliber NBA players in games that actually count now, not preseason, not, summer league, games that count, stats that are going to be held from now until eternity. What did it look like? And I'm telling you, after what I saw last night, I was like, okay, cool. Not, this is, transcendent. This is a generational thing. I didn't see it. Now, here's the problem. The real problem is that Brandon Miller didn't look that great either, and neither did Scoot. So we have these top 3 picks of the most recent NBA draft, and these 3 dudes went out there and were all mid in their own way. And Magic Man is out here and he's saying he played 23 minutes with 15 points. That's cool. Again, 23 minutes is not what I would expect from the number 1 overall pick that everyone and their mama is saying is the next GOAT. But if this is going to be the plan, they kept telling us about how his body is different, even though he's rail thin. Don't compare him to Sean Bradley. Don't compare him to, the dudes that we're used to who are that skinny, who bodies break down. We keep being told his body is different. His training and stretching regimen is different. His body's built to last. Cool. Then why is he playing only 23 minutes? One of that, part of the reason is the foul trouble. And people are not afraid to go at Big Vic. And that's something that I was actually happy to see, because a lot of the times when you have a guy that's this big, this tall, you have dudes that don't know what to do with him. But even Kyrie, if you watch Kyrie tried to go out there in the same way he sized up Steph in Game 7 when he was with the Cavs to get that chip in Game 7. He tried to do that same exact move to Big Vic. He bricked it, but he wasn't afraid to, okay, bring your 7'5" ass out here and let me see what I could do off the dribble. I'm going to set you up to hit that 3 off the right corner, and I'm going to see if it drops. So people are not going to be afraid to go after Victor Wembanyama, and I think that's going to be the real tale of how this season is going to be judged. 15-5, that's just, to me, that's mid. To me, that's mid. Magic Man, salute, bro. It's been a while. Yeah, man. Look, we are in the midst of moving. Some career things going on. All good, by the way. So we're in a lot of transition stuff. So we're trying to do content while there's a lot of lifing going on behind the scenes. But yeah, man, glad I could be here to pull up. And I wish I could have been here more, but that will be changing where I will be able to come back and pull up on a more regular basis very soon. So now that things are settled down for now, then it's going to be a move that's going to be hectic. But then once the move has settled down, then we're right back at it. And NFL and NBA is going on full bore. So I'll be here with y'all. Victor Wembanyama. So let's go ahead and look at the shot chart. Let's go ahead and look at the shot chart, right? And this is where we look deeper than just the box score. Like I said, we could just sit here and talk about, the whole thing with him versus Bron and him having similar numbers to Tim Duncan, and we could do all of that. But let's look at, deeper. It's deeper than rap on this channel. So it's deeper than box scores. It's deeper than aggregated sites. Let's go ahead and find the shot chart. Here we go, shot chart. It's been so long I forgot where that is. Let's see. This is Mavericks, okay? Spurs. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. And now we got to move this over. And there we go. Okay. Big Vic. All quarters, Victor Wembanyama. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let me get my, let me go right here for a second. Got to get my little highlighter. And then let's get our projector thing. Where is it? Drop zone. Nope. Oh, did we lose that? Presentify. Okay, cool. All right, I see it. All right, back at it. So, Big Vic, this is what he did in those 23 minutes. So, we're talking about Victor Wembanyama, and Magic Man was asking, bro, he played 23 minutes and had 15 points. But again, this man is 7'5". 7'5", and these are where the shots were. This is fine. This is great. This is what you want. Okay, he took a little jump shot at the free throw. Cool. Then we got the threes. This is where the transcendent stuff begins. This is where the Kevin Durant comparisons begin. This is all of that. So, if this is going to be the theme for Big Vic, do I like this? No, I do not. I do not like this at all. Because, while he's down here in the paint and he's trying to cook up, and that's great, understanding that a lot of his game is perimeter based, despite the fact that he's 7'5", that's the part that I think people are kind of confused about. And that's been my whole thing about, is he or should he be the number one pick? Because a guy that's 7'5", you normally get that guy down on the block and he's cooking. That has never been Victor Wembanyama's game. He is a perimeter player. That's why I've been saying he should be a 2 guard. He should be a wing. And I think ultimately that's where he'll flourish, as a guard or as a wing. But 7'5" and you're hanging out here by 3-point land, and we saw Kristaps Porzingis cook the Knicks for 30 last night, but it was an array of shots. It was some points off the glass, banging on the offensive boards. It was some shots in the paint, and then it was banging threes from 35 feet out. Like, you would want Victor Wembanyama to beat Kristaps Porzingis, but obviously more. The thing is that Kristaps Porzingis always showed a penchant for wanting to bang down on the block. And he's 7'3", 7'4", and's got a crazy wingspan and has handles and can shoot. So while everyone is saying Kevin Durant as a comparison for Victor Wembanyama, I've always been more like, man, this dude is this Latvia world star, Kristaps Porzingis. He's supposed to be a better Kristaps Porzingis. And while most people would say you got to take that number one, when you see a guard that could be as dynamic or be as much as a game changer as Victor Wembanyama in Scoot Henderson, that to me was where I'm like, well, it should be at least be a debate. But because Victor Wembanyama would seem to be the evolution of Kevin Durant instead of, to me, just a better Kristaps Porzingis, the hype train pushed it into overdrive, and now he was the consensus number one overall pick. So to me, 23 minutes, a lot of shots from the outside, more shots outside than in, which is pretty much been his MO his entire career. I'll leave it up to y'all. Y'all tell me. I don't think this is an overreaction by myself. I've been on this train of, I'm not so sure Victor Wembanyama is going to be who y'all keep swearing he's going to be. He's going to be good. He's got handles. He can shoot. Like, he's going to be good. But is he going to be transcendent? Is he going to be GOAT-like? That part remains to be seen. Scoot. When you mention Victor Wembanyama, you're going to have to mention Scoot Henderson, because those were the two dudes that were vying for the number one overall pick, even though Scoot Henderson actually went third and not second behind Brandon Miller. So Scoot Henderson went out here and also was very mid and also didn't play that well and also left a lot of people head scratching, because this photo kind of sums it up. And this is everything good and also potentially bad about basketball. Russell Westbrook, who looks very good with the Clippers, and the Clippers, if they're healthy, are going to be a factor in the Western Conference. They picked the pocket, and he was able to get this off on a fast break. And you see Russ, and Russ is living his best life. He's found a home in LA. He's being surrounded by people that love him, more so Paul George, who had to convince board man Kawhi Leonard that they need to bring him in. But then you have Scoot here, and Scoot, this is his idol. So while, they're getting blown out, you see here the score, 60-42. They're getting blown out, and Westbrook is about to make it 62-42. Scoot Henderson can't help but smile, because this is his childhood idol. And after rewatching the game last night, I now see why people were saying there is no comparison between Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson. I still don't agree, but I see it. He was erratic. He did not shoot that well. Brick Muse had him up here. Scoreless first half, and 7 of his 9 points came in garbage time. And that was something I made a note of when I rewatched the game. I was like, all his buckets came when the game was well in hand. Now, whether that was he didn't want to go at Russ because Russ is his idol, I don't know, but Scoot Henderson did not assert himself at all in his first game. We want to go down here and check his line. You want the official numbers, 5 of 11. But again, we could parse this. Let's go for the third quarter. He finally made his first bucket, right? Yeah, because he was a 0 for 4 in the first quarter, 0 for 1. So 0 for 5 in the first half. Bricked a couple of threes. So much for all that shooting with Steph Curry. 3 turnovers. Don't like that, especially as a guy that's trying to be the point guard. Third quarter, finally gets his first bucket. Another turnover. Finally gets a dime. And then the fourth quarter, he went crazy. But again, he was going against the second and third string of the Clippers because the game was well in hand. So a very forgettable first game for Scoot Henderson. And let's go ahead and look at his shot chart. Now, Scoot's game, I mean, the way that he looked at Russ, I certainly hope he doesn't intend to play like Russ. That's not what you want. Okay, so you see here, he did his job attacking. But again, this is mostly, let's see, fourth quarter. Yeah, most of this is in the fourth quarter, as you see. So the bricks in the first quarter, he got to the rim, blew some bunnies. He likes that left side. That might be something to keep an eye on. Likes that left side a lot. Third quarter. Okay. Switch sides. He finally made a bucket on that side. Okay, so he likes that left side. Finally took one on the right side here. And then he got inside the cup. He was able to get some layups. But again, the game was well at hand. So Scoot Henderson did not show you enough last night. One game, obviously. Clippers are a good team because they're actually fully healthy as of right now. So you get him, you cut us some slack. He was facing his idol. He might have been, it hasn't turned into idols become rivals for him yet. It was just straight idols looking at Russ cook last night. So Scoot Henderson had a rough one. Let's see. Got more Big Vic there. And we got the brick muse. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm not going to go too crazy when it comes to Scoot. I think ultimately when you're looking at Scoot Henderson, you're looking at someone who projects to be a lead dominant guard. Lead dominant. I'm using that term specifically. There's a lot of scoring guards. There's a lot of combo guards. But I think with Scoot, with the amount of guards around him, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, etc. Even Malcolm Brogdon looked really good. The Trailblazers, as they rebuild here with no Dame, it's going to be a lot of growing pains. This roster is not that great. Tybal hit a couple of threes. I was surprised by that. Maybe that's finally going to be a thing. But when you look at this roster, DeAndre Ayton was horrible. Time Lord was actually... This was the most active offensively I've ever seen Time Lord. I was a little surprised by that, so I'm encouraged by that. Hopefully, there could be a scenario where he's the starting center if Ayton keeps being Ayton. He wasn't denominating anything last night. That bench, if anything, as you see here, were only 23 minutes. So I think Scoot Henderson's got a lot of stuff to figure out ahead of him. A lot of guards were going at him last night. So again, when you have that target on your back, dudes are going to go at you and want to see if you really about that action. Like Kyrie sizing up Victor Wembanyama, trying to treat him like he's Steph Curry in Game 7. That's the type of time a lot of these dudes are going to be on when they see Victor Wembanyama, when they see Scoot Henderson. Less so with Brandon Miller, but we might as well transition over to him. So Brandon Miller is kind of the forgotten man in this draft, and he was the number 2 overall pick. Now, the weird thing with Brandon Miller is he did not start, as you can see here, came off the bench. He was a reserve, but he got 24 minutes. This is damn near the same amount of time as Victor Wembanyama. 13 points, 3 of 7, shooting from 3, 5 of 9 overall. Couple boards, couple dimes, and handled the rock well, only 1 turnover. So, Brandon Miller, what did I see? I saw a role player. Now, I'm hoping that's not what it is. And if that's his role right now, great, cool. But again, we talked about guys that dominate at college, and he kind of flashed out of nowhere. And it's, how does it translate? How does it translate? Can he get his shot off? I didn't see too much that would make me think he can indeed get his shot off at this level. But again, one game sample size. They played the Hawks. The Hawks are not a good team. They have a lot of names. I mean, they finally got John Collins up out of there, but Sadiq Bey looked to be the best player on their squad last night. But yeah, look, I think I love to overreact because this is all we have right now. This is all the information we have. We have one game each on Big Vic, Scoot, and Brandon Miller. This is all we have to go off of. Preseason, nobody cares. College tape, G League tape, international tape, that shit don't matter no more. It's about right now, what do you do in the league? How do you act in the association? And this is where we at. Now, I will say, fourth quarter, yeah, that this corner three right here, they passed him the rock, and they expected him to make this. Like, this was an important shot, albeit from the corner, so an easier three. They looked to him in the fourth quarter, so that was encouraging. The squad with, Scary Terry Rozier, LaMelo, PJ Washington, guys like that, guys that want the rock and want to take their own shots, they were willing to pass the ball to the Rook in the fourth quarter, and he knocked down a big tray ball. So there's something to take there. That Brandon Miller could be something. I think Brandon Miller, out of the three between Scoot and Big Vic, played the best, although all three were kind of mid. Scoot played the worst. Brandon Miller played his role the best. And Big Vic, Victor Wembanyama, to me was an incomplete because he didn't get a lot of run because man's only played 23 minutes. And why did he play 23 minutes? Let's go ahead and tap in as to why. Where is it? 5 fouls for Victor Wembanyama. Y'all see it. Let me make sure. Yep, y'all can see it. 5 PF. It's right there. So he got in foul trouble. And that's going to be the thing, because if you're going to put him out there on the wing, everyone's going to want to ISO on him. There's a reason why Kyrie was sizing him up, trying to shoot a dagger in his eye like he was, back in Oracle, Game 7, with Steph Curry in front of him. Like, people see Big Vic, bring that tall ass out here to the three-point line and let me cook him. Let me get my dribble package off. Let me hit him with a hezzy. Let me get him up in the air. Let me get into his chest, pause. Let me do all of this because I know he doesn't have the NBA body yet. It remains to be seen if he's ever going to get the NBA body. But at this point in time, with Victor Wembanyama, you're really asking a lot if you're expecting him to go out here and dominate from day one. But that's what all the experts, all the analysts, all the scouts were telling us, is that you got to take him. He's that guy. 23 minutes, 6 of 9. Like, the box score reads well. If you miss the game and you just go to the box score and say, hey, how did Big Vic play? Well, he went 6 of 9, hit 3 threes, had 5 boards, 2 dimes, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 turnovers, though, but still 15 points. You would just say, oh, okay, well, you played well. And that's why you got to watch the game. Can't just look at the box score and say 15, 5, no offensive rebounds for someone that's 7'5". But again, he's a wing. But he's 7'5". Meanwhile, we could go to Porzingis last night, who's not that smaller. Smaller in height, but that's about it. Where that Knicks game at? Where that Knicks box at? You got Porzingis out here. 8 of 15, 5 threes, got to the line a bunch, 90% from the line there. 8 boards, 4 blocks. Someone that's shorter than Victor Wembanyama getting more blocks. 1 turnover, 30 ball. So again, I think there's going to be something that's said when everyone keeps trying to say that Victor Wembanyama is the evolution of Kevin Durant and LeBron and all of this. Well, I keep looking at, man, he better be better than Kristaps Porzingis. I tell you that. He better be better than Kristaps Porzingis, because the skill set that I see reminds me a hell of a lot more of Kristaps Porzingis than Kevin Durant. So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, the whole thing with Big Vic and the whole thing with Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller, all 3 were mid last night, in my opinion. You know, argue in the comments if you want or in the chat if you want. But to me, all 3 were mid. And that's kind of where we're at after 1 game. And the reason why we're here after 1 game is because everybody has played except for the Bucks and the Sixers. We're waiting on the Bucks and the Sixers, but if we want to go down and break over some more of these games, we already talked about the Bulls needing a players-only meeting after the first game. And here's the funny thing about it, especially if you look here at this box score. Let me see if I can zoom in. You gonna let me zoom in or not? There we go. Okay, so if you see here, this was a relatively close game. It just all fell apart in the 4th quarter for the Bulls. So you're telling me after 1 game, the 4th quarter was so bad that after 1 game and 1 bad 4th quarter, there had to be a players-only meeting? And the Bulls tried to push back, say that it wasn't a players-only meeting, and they even asked Coach Billy Donovan. And he said, I don't know if it was a team meeting. They were in there talking. I walked in and they said, Coach, can we talk? And I said, sure, and I left. That's a players-only meeting. That's a team meeting, Billy. He's been in this league long enough to know that. He's been in this league enough to know that. The players kicked him out. It was a players-only meeting. I don't know if it was a team meeting. They were in there. They as in the team. The team was in there talking. I walked in and they did say, Coach, can we talk? And I said, sure. And I left. So clearly, you know, the we was not coach and team. The we was the team wanted to talk. Needing a players-only meeting after the first game of the year, poverty franchise, the Chicago Bulls. Poverty franchise. All right, let me go to the chat. Magic Man is still here. Salute. Let me try this lookout right here. Where are we at? There we go. Pull this up. Suns and Lakers are playing. KD and LeBron finally playing against each other. Yeah, there are some games that we can look upon. Let's see if we get the schedule up. It is Thursday, so it is a TNT night. Y'all know how it is. Let's see what we got. Yep, we got Phoenix and the Lakers at 10 o'clock Eastern. And we have the Sixers and the Bucks at 7:30 tonight. So we got some good games going on tonight. So I'll be definitely locked in on that. We'll probably do another stream tomorrow. We'll probably mix it up with NBA and NFL tomorrow, as we also there's Thursday night football tonight as well. So it's a big sports night, big ball night. We got the Bucks and the Bills. Bucks and the Bills on Thursday night, and then we got the NBA doubleheader. Sixers, Bucks, the last 2 teams to play to get their first game off. No James Harden. They told his ass to stay home. Ramp up, James. Ramp up. So that's kind of where we're at there. You see Magic Man here. Bucks and Sixers, also a good game. Yep, Bucks and Sixers should be a good game. It'll be interesting to see how much do they roll out tonight in regards to the whole Giannis Dame thing. Like the Giannis Dame thing, pick and rolls are going to be maddening to try to like defend. You can ice, you can hedge all you want, but it's really going to be interesting to see what does Nick Nurse try to cook up when you have Embiid and you can, in theory, say, all right, Embiid can guard Giannis, but you got nothing for Dame. Maxi's cool. You can maybe on a switch try to do Tobias Harris. There's some bodies there you could throw at him, but ain't nobody there who can guard Dame. So looking forward to see how, they defend the Bucks, how a lot of teams defend the Bucks, because the Bucks are going to be such a potential matchup nightmare when they're at full strength. Because when you take Giannis Antetokounmpo, who likes to go downhill, we all know it, right? He tried to develop some other moves, but his main primary move is to get downhill. You're the Nigerian freak. Nobody wants to stand in front of you. Once that's a thing, and you try to collapse, you try to sag, now you got Dame out here, Logo Lillard. So now, if you try to sag to try to lure Giannis in, that's going to pull attention away from Dame, who can bang it from 35 feet out. And then if by some miracle you're able to sag on Giannis, and then he kicks it to Dame, and you're able to rush Dame and run him off the line, now you got Chris Middleton. So when they're healthy, the Bucks are going to be very difficult to defend. You're going to need a lot of wing defenders. You're going to need good bigs who can guard somebody like Giannis, and a lot of good wing defenders who can run at Dame and run at Chris Middleton. That's asking a lot. There's not too many teams who are equipped like that. There's not too many teams who could get that off. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Let's see what else we got. So, I don't know if is Bradley Beal playing tonight? I don't think Bradley Beal. He didn't play in the first game against the Dubs. Let's see if Bradley Beal's playing tonight. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker are out tonight. All right, so this game is already taking a hit. All right, I'll show this. It's on the screen. So, let me pause that. Devin Booker has left foot soreness, and Bradley Beal low back tightness, out for Phoenix, and they're in LA. I don't know what's going on there. National televised game. I don't know what's happening there. Is this some of that, pushback on the league stuff? I don't know. I mean, Bill at least missed the first game, and this is not a back-to-back. So I don't know. So does that take any luster off the game tonight? You got the Lakers. I'm assuming AD and Bron are playing, but you just got KD and a bunch of dudes. That's not the matchup TNT was looking for. I can tell you that for a fact. That is not what TNT was signing up for. We're going to put the Sixers and the Bucks on, the opening of TNT. And then we're going to have Bron, KD, the big two of the Lakers, and the big three, really big 2.5, but the big three of the Suns, and the 1.5 of the Suns say, nah, we good. We not hooping tonight at Staples. Yikes. I'm obviously still gonna watch the game, still gonna look forward to it, but it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. Because I know Beal missed the first game and they still beat the Warriors, and they beat them not handedly, but they pretty much had that game in the tuck. The Dubs did not have the habitual nut hitter, but going to be interesting to see how that goes. Let's see what else we could pull up. There were some good games last night. The Cavs-Nets game was really a strong game. Cam Thomas is a my career 2K player come to life. Like, that's the only thing I kept thinking rewatching that game last night was he just takes all the shots I see in 2K. All the shots I see at the rec, Pro-Am, all that shit at the park. Like, Cam Thomas is the walking embodiment of a my career 2K player. Like, he is that. He takes shots off the wrong foot. He's off balance. He attacks the rim when there's dudes wide open. But he's a bucket. He's a bucket. He's green beaning shit that he should not be green beaning. Like, Cam Thomas is a really fun player. Absolutely fun player. I don't know if you could ever win anything worth a damn with Cam Thomas, but if you just give the ball to Cam Thomas and let him cook, it is some fun shit to watch. Cleveland got this dub without Jarrett Allen, by the way. I wasn't aware of Jarrett Allen being out, but he did not play. And they really didn't miss him. Strus was cooking, hit the glass, 7 threes. Like, Strus was, I mean, you're not going to get this Strus for the whole year, obviously. And the Nets defense, I mean, again, one game, but that shit was really bad. And Mikal Bridges getting 12 shots, can't have that. But how can you when fucking Cam Thomas is off the bench, 25 minutes, 21 shots? Telling you, man, that dude, Cam Thomas, is an NBA 2K my career player come to life. I loved it too. Loved it. Yeah. So the Donovan Mitchell watch continues. Will he be in Cleveland the whole year? That Knicks tape thing is becoming so loud that it kind of seems to be a foregone conclusion again. But we all thought that a year and change ago. So who knows? Atlanta, Charlotte, we talked about that with Brandon Miller. Atlanta's not good. Atlanta's not good. They finally got rid of John Collins, but this dude, like that whole Trae Young, DeJounte Murray thing, that shit is not going to work, bro. That shit is not going to work. It's just not. Charlotte, low-key, could be good. Mark Williams in the paint was kind of a revelation. LaMelo's back. You love to see that. Charlotte has a nice young core. Washington, all the people that were telling me and telling the timeline that Jordan Poole was going to go crazy because now he's free of the shackles and he's going to put up all the shots in the world, and it's going to be like when Harden first got to Houston and he just, turned into this next dude. Yeah, nah. That was not the case against Indiana. Let's look at the shots. It was not a lot of shots. 18 shots. And this is why he can't cook. Because Kyle Kuzma wants to cook too. So it's like when the Beard went to Houston, it was literally just a Beard and a bunch of dudes with Dwight Howard. Throwing some Eric Gordon and all of that, but mainly it was all about James. This Washington Wizard team is not going to be all about Jordan Poole. Kyle Kuzma got the bag. Tyus Jones is out here still trying to prove it. So, like, the shots are not going to be crazy like that for Jordan Poole. We talked about Portland and the Clippers with the whole Scoot thing. The Clippers look really good. They're actually healthy. Robot Jordan, a.k.a. Kawhi Leonard, board man. Look, if he's healthy and Russ plays under control and PG was stealth last night. 11 of 17. It was all in the flow of the offense. Nothing seemed to be forced. Like, if those dudes can cook, like Russ is out here giving you double-doubles, 11 and 13 dimes. Low on the turnovers, only 3 turnovers. Like, if you could get this Russ, and then a healthy PG and Kawhi, this is a top 4 team in the West. Easy. Top 4 team in the West easy. The thing with them is always health. New Orleans, Memphis. This was a weird game. It was the only one that I couldn't go back and rewatch in its entirety. For some reason, the app just wouldn't load it. But when you have Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, and even to a lesser degree, CJ McCollum, you should be a good offensive team. Now, defense will always be the bugaboo, and that's why you look to Valanciunas and even Larry Nance to kind of help out there because the perimeter defense is lacking. Herbert Jones is a guy, but he's trying to turn up offensively. So I don't know if the defense is going to fall off there. But the Pels should be a good team. Should. And Memphis, I mean, look, Mans in them is not playing yet. He can't hoop yet. So, you know, this roster doesn't look right. Marcus Smart was doing Marcus Smart things, trying to be that leader guy. You know, they still got D Rose. They signed him in free agency. You can't really say too much about the Grizz until Ja comes back. But if you're the Pels, that's still the Grizzlies. They're still supposed to be a good team even without Ja. They were able to win a lot of games last year and historically without Ja. So that's still a good win. Zion's healthy. Played well, looked well. Sprang in the step. Had the bounce. Had the quick jump. Fast twitch muscles were on point. Pause. Not much to go over there. Detroit, Miami, that was a horrible game to watch. One thing of note, James Weissman did not play. DNP, coach's decision. Warriors ruined him. It's a damn shame. Celtics took care of Knicks tape. As we talked about earlier, Porzingis went nuts, 30 ball. Tatum. I think, and I've heard this a lot, that the whole Marcus Smart had to go thing was more about turning this team fully over to Jason Tatum. Allegedly, the team was kind of always beholden to Marcus Smart's opinion of themselves. So in essence, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, other guys would always defer to what Marcus Smart wanted, which could be good, but most of the time was very bad, especially when it comes to making late game decisions. Like if I'm paying Jaylen Brown 300 M's and I'm going to roll up the bench truck even more for Tatum, why are they bowing down to Marcus Smart? I'm not paying y'all 300 M's each for y'all to be bowing down to what Marcus Smart thinks. So if that's what's holding us back, yeah, let's go ahead and get him up out of here. Because you know who they're not going to bow down to? Jrue Holiday. That's who they not going to bow down to. That's who they not going to acquiesce to. So you got a really great performance from Jason Tatum last night. 34 and 11, 4 dimes, 3 threes. But the threes that he did hit were big late. He could get to the cup whenever he wanted. Finished at the rim, drew some fouls as you see here. Jaylen Brown, 300 M's, 4 of 11, 0 for 4 from 3. 6 boards, 5 assists, couple of turnovers. 300 million, man. Must be nice. Must be nice. Houston, Orlando, that was a blowout. Houston's clearly tanking, and they're tanking with vets, which is strange. They're tanking with vets. The whole Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet thing, Jeff Green, like Orlando's running you off the floor? Orlando. Jonathan Isaac is looking crazy. Jonathan Isaac was a defensive force. Cole Anthony put up a 20 ball on y'all. I don't know, man. That Houston thing. Dallas, San Antonio. We spoke about that earlier with Big Vic, Victor Wembanyama. I'll say this about Dallas. If Derek Lively's going to play the way he did, if Derek Lively's going to give you what he gave last night, that's a huge deal for Dallas. Because that's been the one thing they've been missing during this Luka run is a competent big. Competent rim-running big. They tried it with Porzingis. It didn't work. They had, who was it? Not Jackson Hayes. Who was the other dude? Dwight Powell. Although they found a way to bring him back. They tried it with Dwight Powell. Didn't work. Derek Lively, he was a force. Like I said, he was the best rookie that played last night. The best looking rookie last night that played in the National Basketball Association was Derek Lively. Double-double. He got after it on the offensive glass. He was a factor. Set some good screens. Was a factor protecting the rim. If he can ascend to where he's a starter, I like it a lot for Dallas. Because you're not stopping Kyrie and Luka. Kyrie had a bad shooting night, 1 for 8 from 3. But he still got his. And Luka was Luka, triple dub, something light. 33, 13, and 10. And it was easy. That was the scary part last night. It was an easy triple-double. Let's see. Minnesota, Toronto. I feel bad for Anthony Edwards, man. Ant-Man, I know he can't wait till that contract is up. He can't wait till now he's going to have to take the re-up. But after he takes the re-up, then he could get loud about wanting out. But man, that squad is bad. Call Anthony Towns. You're hearing stuff about him and the Knicks. If Minnesota can just move away from him, that would be best not only for them, but for Anthony Edwards. Because he still sometimes allows Cat to just go and do Cat things, which is not for the betterment of the team. It's not. Sacramento, Utah. John Collins is now with Utah Jazz. Sacramento, Malik Monk, the dunk that he had, top tier play of the night. I'll put it on my Twitter feed at TheSamD if you haven't peeped it already. Not much to make of with this game here. I'll say this about Sacramento. I'm still going to question not if they're a fluke. I don't think they're a fluke. I don't know what they did in the offseason to better themselves. They're essentially running it back. And I don't know if I would have did that. Because you're banking on Keegan Murray taking a step. I don't know if I would have rested my laurels on Keegan Murray taking a step. The window for this particular group, they bring back Harrison Barnes. The window for this group, I think, is extremely small. This is not a dynasty. You know what I'm saying? This isn't going to be the core of a team that continuously is towards the top of the Western Conference. This is a team that you got another year after this year. You got 2 years, 2 more to try to do something significant with this roster. And I'm just not seeing it right now. But they'll be back in the playoffs. Barring injuries, they'll be back in the playoffs. But there y'all have it. We are through the first full night of action in the National Basketball Association. We have 2 games going on tonight. We have the Sixers and the Bucks. No James Harden. And in the second game of the doubleheader that it will be on TNT, you have the Lake Show and the Phoenix Suns. No Devin Booker, no Bradley Beal. Make of that what you will. All right, so I'm glad I could pull up here. I got some things I need to take care of, so I'm going to shake the spot. But very glad I could pull up here and talk to y'all. It's been a minute. We're going to be back doing way more consistent content. So I'm glad that y'all could pull up. Those who pulled up live, those of y'all who catch the replay, Salute to y'all. I'll be back again here tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Thursday night game because the Thursday night game is the Bills and the who? Was it the Bills and the Bucks? A mid game, a mid off. But anyway, we'll be here to recap Thursday night football, look ahead to the rest of the Sunday games, as well as recap the NBA action from tonight. So I will holla at y'all tomorrow. I am the Sam D. Say this May Jr. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.